There's a wicked invader spreading across Leelanau County and all of northern Michigan. Garlic mustard overtakes native plants to create a monoculture. This invasive plant steals the light, water, and space from native wildflowers. Worse, the plants are toxic to the larvae of native butterflies, and some of the chemicals released by garlic mustard can inhibit growth of other plants. Researchers say these chemicals also reduce the survival of tree seedlings. So Leelanau Conservancy and the Northwest Michigan Invasive Species Network have declared war on garlic mustard.
I see it growing everywhere, as in sometimes there's certain invasive plants that tend to occupy disturbed areas, and yes, this garlic mustard site is disturbed and it really likes disturbed areas, but I will see it growing in the middle of a beautiful pristine forest. It just takes one seed to get dropped. It grows in monocultures where within the areas that it's growing nothing else can grow. It can just dominate an entire forest and eventually just become a carpet of garlic mustard where there's nothing else growing, and that's just not a healthy ecosystem. There's many different ways you can control garlic mustard. Hand pulling is a really effective way. If you can get the root up, that's a great way. You can use herbicide as well, but we're looking at finding some other alternatives to controlling garlic mustard. So we have these propane backpacks that have torches, and really it's ideally going to be more effective to kill the seedlings. We're just looking for ways that we can quickly come in and do a control method that will speed up the process. And in a spot like this, we know that the seed bank is probably pretty dense, and so if anything, I just want to start flushing the seeds out of the soil, and we know that this is going to be a commitment to be controlling the site. We could be here for 10 years or more.
The Leelanau Conservancy and Invasive Species Network are gathering armies of workers and volunteers to fight the invaders. This battle is at the Conservancy's Clay Cliffs natural area.
Clay Cliffs is a wonderful natural area. There's an amazing clay bluff along the Lake Michigan shoreline, which is a rare landform here in Michigan. So it was a big effort to protect it, and we got an amazing forest along with it, and unfortunately an infestation of garlic mustard as well. So we're trying to control the garlic mustard so that it won't spread further into the forest. Right here we have the second-year plants, which these grew from seed last spring, and they start as these tiny little seedlings, and then they grow into this rosette and they overwinter like that. So now this is what's from last year, and this is what we'll be pulling, and then all the little tiny seedlings we'll be torching to try to control those so that next year there's hopefully less of them to pull out. This is definitely something you can do at home. In fact, if you see it growing, you want to try to pull it ideally before it's flowering, definitely before it's fruiting and seeding, because if you're pulling it when it's fruiting and seeding, you could potentially spread the seed further. You just make sure all this is coming out with it. You should definitely pull it if it's at your house. Yeah. And then you can eat it. You can eat it before it's flowering. Yeah.
One of the tricky things with invasive plant management is trying to prioritize the work that we do, because it can seem overwhelming. If we can find those little satellite populations of even just one plant here or a small clump of plants that we can keep from going to seed and spreading further up into the forest, those are the spots we really want to get. And then as time allows, we can work on these spots too. This is a great spot with volunteers. If we can get just a group of people to come and just pull all this, that's great. But ideally we want to get all the plants from going to seed. We have a lot of volunteer work days set up. You can look at our website to find out more about our work days. We have them on weekdays, we have them on the weekend. It's many different natural areas throughout Leelanau County can meet up with us and pull garlic mustard. I think it's fun. It's a great time to be out in the forest because all the spring ephemerals are blooming, and you may even find some morel mushrooms while you're at it. And so it's a fun time, I think, just to be with friends in the forest, weeding the forest.
I believe it's possible to eradicate garlic mustard. I believe that it takes a huge amount of effort and many years of work, but I think that it's doable if you're diligent. And I think it's super important to work to eradicate it, because it does create monocultures, and then you have an unhealthy ecosystem.